So as part of the M3 project I'm doing with USCP, I'm also building a race car version of it. Well, not really a race car, more of a weekend track car, as I'm not really that big of a fan of race cars and the big liveries on them. I will be just doing it pretty plain and simple, but adding a lot of details to it in my own style. Which that is, you will see in the build itself. Let's just go into the box now for some smaller details, and then some of the more in-depth detail later on. The interior tub is the same. It is the stripped version as the other one is as well, though you don't need to add the details like the rear and the front seats, as this is a race car and race cars don't have full interiors mostly. With the street car version you get front and rear seats and some additional details, and this one just gives you a nice bucket seat with detail front and rear. Also has some sliders for the seats, or at least the mounting brackets, and another piece for a license plate, I presume. As far as all the other components for the interior, they are not really the same either. It has a nicely detailed roll cage, a steering wheel that is for race car specific, even some of the gear shifters, handbrakes, and other stuff is race car inspired, so they did actually spend a lot of time on it. Even the dashboard is changed to some of the race car instruments, although the general shape is the same, apart from half of it being missing, as that's not used in race cars. They even added some M3 style mirrors and the mirror inserts as well. Just like all the other main sprues, this is pretty much identical as well, only the molded color is different. So for all the additional chassis detail, nothing is really the same. The exhaust is different, it is missing some cats or some resonators, it has some additional parts, and the fuel tanks are different. Some of these parts are different, and I think the disc brakes themselves are bigger as well. It's nice that they thought of this detail. Rather than just stripping the interior and keeping all of the parts the same, they did actually think about some of these chassis components. The tires are of course also not the same, though not really that interesting either, as they are full race slicks. The wheels also seem to be a couple inches bigger, have a center lock, and have a sort of BBS style. I'm pretty sure these actually were BBS, though don't quote me on that. I really like the look, and I will be probably using these on the build. Again, I will be leaving the clear parts in the protective plastic, so I don't really scratch them all that much, and it's pretty much all the same. It has the nice details in the head and taillight lenses. The main clear part is nice and clear. It has the nice big sheet of stickers to add around and paint the black edges and the additional parts as well. So the body is pretty much exactly the same as the streetcar version, though this roof seems to be a little bit cleaner. You can see a couple of the small dents right here. Those are pretty much the same, though a little less aggressive, and the rest of the body is identical. Though this one is molded in white and the plastic is a bit thicker, it somehow seems, or at least a lot less translucent. Now this does give you the opportunity to paint it in pretty much any color you desire, opposed to the red one, which will be a lot harder, but we'll see how we get around that. With this, of course, being a race car, what is a race car without a lot of details, decals, and sponsoring around? I will not be using any of these. Either I will be just going to paint it or use a custom livery made up by me or BMW. But again, I'm not sure. The decals themselves seem to be nice and printed, a lot of nice details captured, and a good quality overall.